All right, let's dive into the absolute essentials of construction. We're talking about the tools and equipment that literally turn a drawing on a piece of paper into a real physical building. Let's get right into it.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? How does a massive skyscraper, or even just your own house, go from being nothing but an empty lot to a finished building? It seems so complex, right? But believe it or not, every single project, no matter how huge, really starts with one simple idea. And that's it, right there. It all boils down to having the right tool for the right job. See, every single task in construction has a tool made just for it, and choosing the correct one, that's not just a good idea, it's the very first, most critical step to getting anything built properly. Okay, so why is this such a big deal? I mean, really, why does it matter so much? Well, it all comes down to these three key things that, honestly, every good builder practically lives by.
Yeah, this is pretty much the builder's code. Using the right tool, it's not about what's convenient. It makes the job easier, plain and simple. It makes the work a whole lot safer for everyone involved. And, maybe most importantly, it makes sure everything is accurate. You can't have quality work without these three things. It's just non-negotiable. All right, so where do we actually start? Where does the first bit of physical work happen? Well, here's a fun fact about building. Before you can ever go up, you've got to go down. Every single great building you've ever seen started with a solid foundation. And to do that, you need a very specific set of tools. We call them excavating tools. Their whole job, their one big purpose, is to get the land ready by, you guessed it, digging and moving a whole lot of dirt.
And you know what? It usually comes down to two of the most basic, most ancient tools humans have ever invented: the shovel and the pickaxe. There's a reason our source material points these out specifically. Without them, you literally can't do anything. You can't clear the land, you can't dig a trench, you can't lay a foundation. It all begins right here.
Okay, so the ground is prepped. Now we move on to a phase where everything is about being exact. This is all about preparation, and it's a super important step that has to happen before you even think about putting two pieces together. And it follows this really simple, logical three-step rule. First, you measure to get your dimensions perfect. Second, you mark so you have a flawless guide to follow. And only then, once those two things are done, do you cut. You follow that order every time, and you're going to save yourself from some really expensive mistakes. And this quote from the source just nails it, doesn't it? Accurate measurements prevent mistakes. It's so simple, but so true. A tape measure isn't just a tool for seeing how long something is. It's your first and best defense against messing up. It stops problems before they even start. So think of marking tools, stuff like pencils or those cool chalk lines, as the bridge that connects your measurement to the actual cut. That sharp pencil line or that perfectly straight chalk line is your roadmap. It guarantees your saw goes exactly where it's supposed to. And that brings us to the final step in prep, the cut. This is where tools like saws and hacksaws come in. Whether you're cutting wood or metal, these are the tools that transform big, raw pieces of material into the precise components you actually need to build with. All right, now this is where the magic really starts to happen. All our materials are measured, marked, and cut to perfection. Now it's time to actually start putting the puzzle together. This is where you see the structure begin to take shape. And this little table is a perfect summary of the tools you'll be using. You've got your percussion tools, like hammers for banging things into place. You've got boring tools, yep, that's what they're called, like drills for making holes. Then you have gripping tools, like pliers and clamps to hold stuff tight while you work. And of course, tools for bricklaying, like trowels. Each one has a very specific, very important job to do. And what's the one thing all these different tools have in common? It's their mission. Their whole purpose is to join materials together securely. We're talking strong, stable connections that are built to last. You can almost think of these tools as super-powered extensions of a builder's own hands, right? They give you the incredible force of a hammer, the pinpoint precision of a drill, and the unwavering grip of a clamp. It's everything you need to assemble that frame one piece at a time. Okay, we are so close. The main structure is built, but we're not quite ready to pack up and go home. The final stage is all about making sure everything is perfect. It's about quality control and adding those finishing touches that make it look professional. And that brings us to two last but super critical groups of tools. First up, you have your leveling tools. A spirit level is a perfect example. Their job is all about safety and stability, making sure surfaces are perfectly flat or straight. Then you have your finishing tools like a float or a trowel. Their job is all about how it looks, smoothing things out and giving it that clean, professional appearance. And really, you need both to get a high-quality result. It's a partnership. One set of tools makes sure the building is safe and solid, and the other makes sure it looks fantastic. You put them together, and that's how you guarantee a job well done. And there you have it. In what feels like a blink of an eye, we've gone from just a patch of dirt to a fully built structure. And it all happened by following a logical process, using the right tools for each step of the way, from digging and measuring all the way to assembling and finishing. So that's it. That's the basic toolkit that has literally built the world around us, from a tiny shed to the most massive skyscraper. When you think about it, with these tools, the only thing holding you back is your own imagination. Which kind of makes you wonder, right? If you had this toolkit, what would you build?